Let's bring in our panel of experts right now. Former Colorado State Republican Senator Ted Harvey and Democratic commentator Ellis Henican. Congressman, that probably made Americans feel a little bit stronger, and maybe their spines a bit stronger, because it is true. What has been not working over the past 30 years or so may start to work now because of the way he is phrasing it. But are you concerned? Tell me what your constituents, your former constituents, are saying.
Well, I think that the American people are tired of 30 years worth of presidents that are negotiating with a very dangerous individual and giving him nuclear technology. And with regards to Obama in his 8 years, he essentially put his head in the sand and tried to push this off until the next president. And so Trump is being left in a no-win situation where he is having to take a very strong stand against a maniac who has the capabilities to drop nuclear warheads on the United States. And we have to have a president that's going to be resolute and send a strong message to the world that we will not sit back and be intimidated by a crazy person with nuclear technology.
Ellis, do you think that message is going straight to the North Koreans and that they believe it? Or is Kim Jong-un so incredibly nuts that he says, I'm going to do what I'm going to do?
Well, he's certainly hearing it. At this point, I would say the reaction has largely been mockery. You know, the rhetoric is bellicose and it's throaty and it's clear. You do have to ask, though, exactly what it's solving for us. I would note, Liz, that the generals in the administration have been especially emphatic on the importance of diplomacy at this time. General Mattis and others, when asked about this, keep pointing back to diplomatic solutions, not military solutions. That may be telling.
Senator Harvey, you know what happens in Washington, D.C. when situations like this arise, whether going way back to Kosovo, for example, or any other hot spot in the world. Diplomatic channels. The Associated Press is reporting today that there are so-called back channels where there's some whispering going on between U.S. envoys and representatives of North Korea. Do you hold hope that this may simmer things down, calm them down, versus amplification of what everybody calls rhetoric?
Well, certainly, diplomacy is the #1 goal of any administration when dealing with an enemy of the United States. We certainly want war to be the last resort. And I would assume that the President of the United States is doing everything that he can to avoid war. But what he is telling North Korea is that if they are going to try to threaten Guam, if they are going to try to threaten South Korea or Japan, they need to understand what the results will be, that the United States will be there to defend our allies and defend our territories, and we will do it very aggressively if an enemy of the state tries to use military force to influence that region or influence our foreign policy.
Well, it's just moving on the wires, and I want to bring it to you. The European Union will convene an EU meeting next week on North Korea. So clearly, Ellis, they are concerned over there, and they feel that things might be escalating too dramatically. Tell me then, when you look at, say, for example, Kuwait, which yesterday shut down flights to North Korea, and they don't want to exchange any visas at this point. The world is backing away from North Korea. Will isolation force their hand?
Well, and clearly you're right. There's an awful lot of anxiety because any of the scenarios are so monstrous. But I do not notice a single one of our allies, whether it be in the Middle East or the Europeans, doing anything to promote a military response to this, because everyone knows just how catastrophic that will be.
Just quickly switching here for a moment, if we could segue. We're all still looking at the legislative calendar. We want to see tax reform, good tax reform. Senator, I had an opportunity to speak with the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Kevin Brady, yesterday. Here's what he said when I pointedly asked him the most important question. What do you make of Senator Mitch McConnell's excessive expectations?
Well, again, what I know is that the president and the majority leader, as well as Chairman Hatch, we are all on the same page when it comes to tax reform, on the timetable, on the boldness, on the urgency to get this done.
And when I flat out asked him, will we have signed, sealed, delivered tax reform by the end of this year, he said yes. Very clearly, yes. I think he even added a ma'am at the end of it. Yes, ma'am. You can call me Liz. But, Senator, Do you think that once they come back from the August recess, they'll have enough time to do the budget, to do tax reform, and to maybe revisit health care?
Well, I certainly hope they will be able to. They promised the American people that they would push forward on health care. The president should have had that expectation. Senator McCain voted for it already in 2014. Senator Collins voted for it already in 2014. They lied to their constituents and said they would vote for it if they got reelected, and they didn't do it. The president certainly should have had those expectations, and they certainly should have the expectations that they will have tax reform and they will have a balanced budget proposal moving, proposal moving forward that the American people can support. That's what these people got elected for, and they didn't get elected to push it off till 2018 or 2019. They got elected to do it this year, and certainly the president should have those expectations, and certainly the American people should as well.
Ellis, do you think that we will see tax reform by the end of 2017? And if not, was it that the president had excessive expectations, or is Mitch McConnell swimming to save his life? And in fact, they had so many years to figure out health care, they couldn't get that done.
Well, yes. I mean, there's plenty of blame to go around, and expectations are easy to express. Strategically, though, is it really a smart approach to turn the boss of the Senate into Kim Jong-McConnell and try and make him the enemy? That's not what I'm asking.
I am asking if we will have tax reform, if the two sides can get together, or if not, can the reconciliation process where they wouldn't need Democrats go through?
It is looking less likely by the day, Liz.
We have to thank and tease, as we call it right now. It's good to see both of you. Ted Harvey, Ellis Henican, we'll have you back. Thank you.